Molly, how'd you like the new dance?
It's lovely. What's up, Molly? There'll be a gentleman here in a little while asking to see me. Send him up, there's a dear. And hold your breath, all of you. I think I'm close to getting a job, I hope.
A job?
Wonderful. I'm glad one of you's going to work. Who do you that won't do? Here, come that up, Pop. Ronnie, turn off your gramophone and stop rehearsing right now. I'd rather you didn't know this was a theatrical boarding house.
Why not?
Because it's not a theatrical job I'm after. Not a theatrical.
Well, it's about that.
Julia, Lily. We've a lot of work to do and very little time. Lily, that black dress I wore in Whispers. Hunt it up for me. There's the dear.
Well, what's this all about?
A job, my darling. A job of work at last. We'll all eat again. Now, those photographs and posters have to come down at once. Oh, and those spectacles I wore in Here Comes Minnie, the ones with the horn rims, I want those too.
Why do you want spectacles?
Because I have to pretend to be respectable and conservative. They told me at the employment agency I look too fancy for a housekeeper.
Oh, what?
A housekeeper of a large London residence. £150 a year, so the agency said.
You, a domestic.
Yeah, sounds dreadful, doesn't it? Deserting the theatre for no reason at all, except that I like to eat 3 times a day.
But you've done second leads in important musical comedy.
And a fat lot of good they did me, going from one manager's office to another and being told, sorry, Molly, dear, but you're not the type, you know. Well, this time I am the type, and the money's good and the food's good. At least it will be, because I shall be in charge of it. Julia, darling, empty those ashtrays. Do hurry, because the man will be here to interview me any minute.
Domestic.
And now get ready for the entrance of Mrs. Barry in her first starring part, the new housekeeper. I do hope your ladyship approves of my appearance, if you'll pardon my presumption in asking.
You look perfectly horrible.
Plain as a board.
I'm so glad that you approve. I can offer the finest references. References, I haven't got any. Oh, that's done it.
Lily, look. I think it's Kitty Good.
The present Lady Burrows, the former Kitty Good.
She's coming here.
Lady Burrows, girl, my references.
Why, bless me if it ain't Kitty Good.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Lamb?
Why, you hadn't paid us a visit since you walked your rich husband. You fairly danced yourself out of the chorus and into Burke's peerage, didn't you, Ducky?
Yes, if you care to put it that way. Oh, and by the way, Mrs. Lamb, it isn't Ducky anymore. Please, it's Lady Burrows. Is Molly at home?
Yeah, she came in a little while ago. And acting a bit balmy, if you ask me. By the way, Mrs. Lamb, it isn't Ducky anymore. It's Lady Burrows.
Kitty, you don't know how glad I am to see you.
Cheerio, Molly.
What brought you down here?
Slumming, I suppose.
Oh, hello, girls. Molly, darling, I just dropped out for a moment. I'd come to get those photographs I once autographed for you. You know, the ones in ballet costume.
You mean the ones with the fan?
They've been stowed away somewhere. Kitty, you can do me a great favor.
Oh, yes, Molly, darling, of course, anything. But I must have those photographs at once. You see, Sir Arthur, that's my husband, must never know that I used to be a specialty dancer.
What did you tell him about yourself?
I told him I was finishing my schooling.
The one for backward children?
Oh, hush up. Molly, what are you made up for?
A housekeeper.
A housekeeper?
You're going to be my references.
References?
Mm-hmm. There's a man coming here who's going to ask for references. I'll tell him I've worked for you for the last 5 years.
Oh, but I've only been married a month.
Here's how we'll do it. You all go down to Mazette and Pop's room below. Come on, because he'll be here any minute. Come on, hurry up. Wait, Kitty, when I knock on the floor like this, you come up and tell him what a wonderful housekeeper I've been.
But I don't believe one usually visits one's ex-housekeeper.
Of course not, but you're a fine and kind-hearted woman, a very gracious lady.
Molly, she never spoke a line in her whole career, and you wanted to play a character part. Let me do it. Listen. Dear, dear Mrs. Barry, I could not leave without a last farewell.
That's no good. He'd think I worked in a haunted house. Oh, that must be him now. Down you go. Don't forget your cue, Kitty. Come in.
You did say come in?
Oh, yes, indeed.
I wasn't sure. Mrs. Barry, I presume?
Yes. Won't you sit down, Mr. Graham?
Thank you. Well, I'm afraid you're laboring under a slight misapprehension. I'm Mr. Graham's butler. My name is Peabody.
Oh, how silly of me, of course.
Could it be possible, Mrs. Barry, that we've worked together before somewhere? Your face is very familiar.
I'm quite sure not, Mr. Peabody. I have a very good memory for faces, and yours is one I wouldn't easily forget.
Yes, perhaps we'd better talk about where you worked last.
Oh, dear. I'm terribly sorry. How did that get there? It's a little costume my 7-year-old niece is wearing at a charity performance the school is giving. I was going to do a little mending on it.
I see.
It's a morality play. She plays the second angel.
And may I ask what the first angel wears?
Gold wings and a halo.
You were about to tell me, I believe, the name of your last employer.
Oh, yes, sir. I was with the Lady Burroughs for 5 years.
And she gave you references, of course.
Oh, of course. Where did I put them?
Show the ladies and gentlemen how clever you are. Round and round again.
Sure, he's clever. He must be getting to be quite an old dog by now.
Oh, he's the grandson of the original Shorty.
Do you suffer from rheumatism, Mrs. Barry?
Well, oh, you mean because I do this? No. I think my foot's asleep. Silly, isn't it?
May I suggest massaging your foot?
I beg yours.
I mean you massaging your own foot.
Oh, no, it'll be quite all right, I'm sure.
What's that? Ventriloquism? It wasn't me.
Oh, Kitty, it's your cue.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm afraid I can't wait any longer, and I think that under the circumstances, I ought to go down to the agency and see if they have any more applicants.
Oh, but Mr. Peabody, I feel
And
sure.
I hope that your foot wakes up before long. You sleepyhead.
Oh, Mr. Peabody, I know I...
Dear Mrs. Barry, I'm sure this must be a great surprise to you.
Rather. Oh, Mr. Peabody, please.
I was in the neighborhood, and I just had to stop off and say goodbye to you once more.
It's lucky for me you did, milady. You see, I've mislaid the references you gave me, and this gentleman has come to interview me about a new position.
Oh, a good creature like you doesn't require references, Mrs. Barry. Your face alone should show what a faithful person you are. If this man has any discernment at all...
Hello, Kitty.
Well, really? Harry Phillips, you old boozer. Why, what is all this about?
Well, that's what I'd like to know. Who are you, Phillips or Peabody?
Both. Phillips when I'm in the theater, Peabody in my present job. And you're Molly Barry. I remember you now. I saw you in Love Goes By.
Are you really a butler?
I am. I find it far more pleasant to hold jobs as a butler than lose them as an actor.
He was always all right openings, but on second nights he was always drunk.
Yes, well, I've conquered my little weakness by now, Kitty.
Well, then it's all right. If you're one of us, you'll recommend me for the job, won't you?
No, I'm afraid I couldn't possibly think of it. You see, one professional in the household where I work is more than enough.
But I need the work very badly, Mr. Peabody. I know I could make a go of it.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Barry. I must be going now.
Oh, but, Mr. Peabody...
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Barry. I must be going now.
Oh, but, Mr. Peabody...
Well,
It's too bad that you've conquered your former little weakness. You see, today's my birthday.
Your birthday?
My birthday, yes. And I'm going to give a little party down at the pub. But, of course, if you've gone teetotal, it's no good asking you to join us, is it?
No, I suppose not. And anyway, I should be looking for another housekeeper.
Of course, you wouldn't be interested. It would be too much of a temptation for you to see us all drinking good beer and ale.
Yes, I suppose it would.
I'd love to have had you, though.
Well, of course, I could drink just plain soda water, couldn't I? That is, if you really want me to come.
Well, that's a wonderful idea. Of course I want you to come. I'll call the others. Come on. Ronnie, Lily, Julie.
Soda water.
Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me, to me. Come on, bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Now, everybody, come on. Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. To cast aspersions at the strong and silent sex, but it's really time you got a bloomin' chopper on your necks. The way you mess us girls around, it really is a shame. You always do the dirty, and we always get the blame. He was tall and he was handsome, and he let me call him Ben. Oh, the artfulness, the sinfulness, the wickedness of men. I hate to have to mention it, but here I go again. Oh, the artfulness, the sinfulness, the wickedness of men. I looked right in his sloppy eyes, and there I met me fate. I felt just like a fish who'd had a nibble at the bait. And then he turned his back on me and said, I'm going straight. Oh, the awfulness, the sinfulness, the wickedness of men. I knew a chap called Rudolph, and he was a proper toff. But, oh, the artfulness, the sinfulness, the wickedness of men. I used to rub his chest in because he had a nasty cough. Oh, the awfulness, the sinfulness, the wickedness of men. He took me out to dinner, oh, we had such lovely times. But then I had to chuck him, 'cause he never had a dime. And now to get revenge, he sends me wicked valentines. Oh, the awfulness, the sinfulness, the wickedness of men.
Where are we going?
I'm taking you home.
Well, couldn't I go home by myself? Couldn't I? Couldn't I? Well, maybe I couldn't.
You like working for Mr. Graham, don't you?
Well, I do and I don't. He's a very difficult man, very difficult.
Liquor?
Just a small one, please. Oh, Mr. Graham? No, he rarely touches it.
Then what's he difficult about?
Oh, he's a sad man. Lives all alone, large empty house, never entertained. Poor lonely man. I dislike him intensely.
Keep the change.
Oh, pardon me. Slight touch of vertigo. That'll be all. Good night, coachman.
It's very nice here, isn't it?
Yes.
All the staff sleep here.
Mm-hmm.
Housekeeper's room here, too.
One door down. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason.
Well, this is me. Good night.
Good night.
Find your way out by yourself?
Of course.
Fine. Well, thanks for a lovely evening. Good night. Oh, I said that.
Nighty-night. Nighty-night.
Cheery little place.
Good morning, my dear. You on the roses, the lark overhead, and oh, I sing softly, da-da-da-da-dee, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
He isn't here.
Mr. Peabody, please. There's a person upstairs.
Mr. Peabody died in his sleep.
Have you taken on a new housekeeper?
What? No. No, of course not. Wait a minute. Yes. Oh! Yes, I did. That is, I didn't. Good heavens, I did. I'll be with you directly.
Morning, Pierre.
Bonjour, Praskins.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
You know the latest? We got a new one.
A new housekeeper?
She's already behaving as though she owned the place. She took all the flowers you cut this morning to put them in the vase.
She can't do that.
She has. And what's more, she's singing.
Singing. A prima donna, this one.
The dew on the roses, the lark overhead. Ah, ah, ah. And oh, I sang softly, though no one could hear, to wish you good morning, my dear. La da 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 da.
Why do you hiss your own vocal efforts? Not that it isn't highly competent musical criticism.
I didn't hiss, sir.
Well, it sounded like it. You have asthma, perhaps?
Oh, no, sir.
But then I am forced to the only remaining and slightly unpleasant conclusion that you have a mechanical problem for your dentist. You'd better see him at once. I can't have you hissing about the place. Incidentally, who are you?
I'm Mrs. Barry, sir, the new housekeeper. It's Mr. Graham, isn't it?
I was unaware that I had engaged a housekeeper.
Oh, Mr. Peabody hired me yesterday, sir. I'm sure I shall be very happy here.
I don't know what reason you have to suppose that. Where the devil is Peabody, anyway? Peabody! Here, sir. You engaged Mrs.
Barry, sir.
We had a conversation, Mr. Graham, but it was not at all decided.
As to the amount of salary I was to receive. But I'm sure we shall get together on that.
I was about to say that I was unable to make up my mind, Mr. Graham.
Oh, he was in a dreadful state last night, sir.
Eh? What was wrong with him?
His state of mind, sir, horribly upset. He was afraid he might not be able to get a capable housekeeper.
Oh, I see. Well, are you satisfied now?
Mrs. Barry has me convinced, sir.
Very well, that's settled then. What have you done to this room? Who pulled the blinds?
I did, sir.
And I suppose the flowers were your idea, too.
Yes, sir. They brighten the place up, don't they?
They make it look like a sick room.
I'll pull the blinds down at once.
Leave them alone. The pleasantest time I remember in the last decade were 2 weeks that I spent in a nursing home with the flu. I shall be back in an hour, and I'll want my breakfast then. Oh, by the way, it won't be necessary to prepare Master Jimmy's room, Peabody. I had a telegram for him last night, and he won't be coming home for his holidays.
Not this summer either. I beg your pardon, sir.
He's going to Scotland to stay with a school friend. Probably be much more amusing for him there.
This is an awfully dirty trick, Molly. I can't possibly have you here.
He was upset, wasn't he, about the kid not coming home?
No, I don't think so. They don't like each other much. Listen, if he ever finds out that you've been on the stage...
What's the kid like?
Oh, never mind that. If Mr. Graham ever discovers...
That you were once an actor, he would be displeased, wouldn't he? What about introducing me to the staff?
Oh...
Hello, speak now the butcher. I'm ordering for Monsieur Graham. You are ready? Please send us 3 York ham, mild cure, 1 dozen of filet of beef of premiere quality, lamb chops to the amount of 2 dozen.
Monsieur Petard, perhaps you can call the man back.
I will recall you sooner.
Mrs. Barry wishes to meet you all.
Good morning, everyone.
That is Perkins.
How do you do, Perkins?
And George,
How do you do, George?
Hilda, and that's Angus.
How do you do, Angus? Please sit down and finish your breakfast.
There's something I want to talk to you about, Mrs. Barry.
Yes, Angus?
The gardening is my work. That includes the care and disposal of the flowers. Now, I'd appreciate it very much, Mrs. Barry, if you...
If I consulted you before arranging them in vases, but they were already cut and lying in a wheelbarrow.
But I tell you, they weren't meant for the house.
Then what were they meant for?
Every bloom that grows here goes to a nursing home.
Well, isn't that thoughtful and kind-hearted of Mr. Graham? Or is it your idea, Angus?
Mrs. Barry, this is our chef, Monsieur Petard.
How do you do, Monsieur Petard? Please go on with your ordering. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Thank you, madame.
Are we having a state banquet or something this evening?
Why, no.
Oh, then we must be very hearty eaters in this house. Well, I'm sure we shall all get along together very nicely. You want to show me the rest of the house, Mr. Peabody?
Yes, I do, yes, immediately, right away. Well...
What did she mean about us being arty eaters?
I think this one we'll have to get rid of quick, but very quick.
So this is the situation in a nutshell, John. With Henderson getting himself killed in a motor accident, it means we shall have to hold a by-election at once. And the party has commissioned me to ask you to stand in Henderson's place and resume the fine career you once had in British politics.
Quite impossible, Jamie. I couldn't consider it.
You're an awful fool, John Graham.
In which case, I don't see why you want me in Parliament.
'Tis no handicap there. It's that old business that's still worrying ye, eh?
Shouldn't it?
It should not. It happened 15 years ago. Everyone's forgotten. Why, man, you were headed for the cabinet when this dirty business happened. If you hadn't resigned then, it would all have blown over.
Blown over? You've forgotten what a scandal it was.
Aye, the world dearly loves this bit of dirt.
The world dearly loves this bit of dirt. Divorce of Member of Parliament. Wife's alleged misconduct with sportsman. And the death of Alexander Graham Bell rated only a half a dozen lines. Blown over. What? The affair will probably be given a place in English history books.
Aye, we shall have to get in the good graces of that, laddie.
Get into whose good graces?
The publisher of the London Transcript. Very influential man. If we get him on our side, you're as good as elected. Go up and see Sir Henry. He knows him very well. By the way, where is she now? Your ex-wife.
Somewhere in South Africa, the last I heard.
Ha! In another world. Forget her, man. The world has, and the party needs you. So stop sulking and run up and see Sir Henry tomorrow. He'll take you in hand.
Would you please listen to me?
No, I'm deaf. There's a train at 10 o'clock from Liverpool Street Station.
I have a car, as you very well know.
Aye, you're right. It'll be much more comfortable driving up. Pretty, wasn't she? But it's a weak face.
What the devil are you doing?
That's the end of that. I'll telegraph Sir Henry that you'll be there about tea time.
Now, look here, Jamie.
Never mind ringing for your butler. I'll find my own way out. Good night to you, John, and good luck.
I rang for Peabody.
Then he'll be here very quickly, sir, I'm sure. I thought you might like a little something before retiring, sir, so I brought this.
Thank you. I shan't require anything, Mrs. Barry.
Mr. Peabody told me you didn't sleep very well, so I thought you might like a little something the last thing at night.
And add indigestion to my insomnia, I suppose.
Oh, not from a bite of chicken and a hot drink. It brings the blood from your head to your tummy, stops you thinking, and helps you to sleep.
You seem to be a gold mine of rather revolting physiological information.
That's common knowledge, sir.
Common fiddlesticks. Furthermore, while I find your lecture absorbing, the thought of food at this hour is repulsive to me.
Yes, sir, but I'll leave it here just in case.
Mrs. Barry, when I say a thing, I happen to mean it. And I'm not usually... Did you ring, sir? Oh, yes, Peabody. I shall be going up to St. Edmunds in Suffolk for a few days, and I want you to drive me. Bring the car around at 9 and an early breakfast.
Yes.
By the way, Peabody, I may be standing for Parliament again.
Oh, very good, sir.
How wonderful, sir.
What's so wonderful about it?
Well, it's a sort of reflected glory for us below stairs, as you might say.
I see. Well, I haven't been elected yet, so there's no occasion for hallelujahs at the moment. Good night to Mrs. Barry.
Good night, sir, and good luck.
An extraordinarily emotional woman, Peabody.
I'm sorry, sir. I can give her notice if you're not satisfied.
Well, I'm not sure that a little enthusiasm occasionally isn't a good thing for this particular house. We'll let things stay as they are for the moment.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Are you looking for someone?
Yes, ma'am. Angus.
He's somewhere about the house, I think.
I usually meets him out here. He don't like me to go in. You cutting them flowers for us, ma'am?
Who is us?
Why, the Covent Garden florists.
No. These are for the house.
Mr. Peabody told me to tell you that he'd telegraphed you the night before there was coming back.
Thank you. By the way, Angus, the boy from the nursing home is waiting for you.
The boss said he don't want no more delphinium today. They're a glut on the market, he says.
Get out of here, you ruddy little... Ooh.
It's the fool that's blind. It's the rich that gets the pleasures. Now ain't that a blinking shy?
Good morning, Mum.
Good morning. You don't want a bunch of petunias, do you?
Carnations is my favourite flower, Mum. I'm delivering the groceries.
Is this the bill?
Yes, Mum, but Pierre don't like nobody to take the bill except himself, Mum. He does his own checking.
You run along and deliver your groceries.
Yes, Mum. It's the same the whole world over. It's the poor who gets the blind.
That blasted snooping housekeeper, she caught me red-handed on that florist deal.
The new housekeeper took the bill away from me.
Took the bill?
Is that how you want it done now, Pierre?
What did she say when she took the bill?
Said run along now and take in the groceries. But I didn't like the way she said it.
That'll be all, thank you. Just a minute, Pierre. Put that basket down.
You're looking for something, madam?
Yes, 2 more hams. The bill charges us for 3, but I find only 1.
So?
2 just didn't get here. We're also charged for 6 pounds of butter. Where is it?
You think perhaps I pinched the butter, that I may rob other hams?
I don't think you pinched the butter. I don't think you actually steal. These articles never reach this house. I believe you have an arrangement with the tradesmen so that they charge for more than they deliver and then split the difference with you.
Oh, Pearl! You insulting us, me, my friend, my country. This I will not accept.
And it's got to stop. I'm willing to wink my eye at the usual small commissions you may get, but I'll not stand for organized robbery.
Ah, you hear what this woman accused me of? You are a witness to her insult.
We heard. She's a bit too free with her accusations.
She'd do better if she took her nose out of it. Ain't her business.
So you're all in on it. And very profitable it's been, I'm sure. Flowers, food, what else? Well, the party's over. There'll be no more of this from now on.
Hello, mes enfants. En marche.
Here. Where are you all going?
To pack, madame. We have decided it is best for us to leave.
We don't stand for being bullied, we don't.
Not off, we don't.
You've done this before to other housekeepers. You're all too well up in your lines for this to be impromptu.
Well, madame, perhaps we could be persuaded to give you just one more chance. If you play the cricket with us, we stay. Otherwise, we quit.
Quit? Oh, you'll do nothing of the sort. You're sacked! Get out! Get out!
Yes? Hello.
What is it, please?
You've got a smudge on your nose.
Shouldn't be surprised. What do you want?
In fact, your face is extremely dirty. Or is it the light?
Listen, son. What do you want?
I'd like to come in, I think. I've been here before, you know.
Master James, I'm sorry I didn't know you.
No reason why you should have. You never saw me before, did you?
That's right.
You're new here, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
They're always new here. Always leaving. Can't say that I blame them.
Your father said you'd gone to Scotland.
Oh, that was called off. Roger Fenton came down with pneumonia. Frightfully inconsiderate of him. Now I'll have to stay here all summer. I think I'll go to bed now, if you don't mind.
Is there anything the matter with you, Master James?
I don't think so. I just need some sleep. God, I feel rotten.
Why, you poor kid, you're burning up with fever. Come on, let's get you to bed immediately. Put your arm around me. Come on. Well, I've washed my face and I've brought you some chicken broth and some toast. I'm glad you're hungry. That's a sign you're getting better. You don't feel quite so badly now, do you?
Not nearly, thanks to you.
I found something in the medicine chest that's going to do you a lot of good. Oh, that's fine. Almost normal. Now a dose of this and you'll feel fine by morning.
Castor oil. I don't like it.
You'd be a queer one if you did. Come on, open your mouth now.
But I haven't taken it since I was a little kid.
Then it's about time you took some.
Then my nurse took some also.
For heaven's sake, why?
Well, just to prove to me that it didn't taste so badly. Maybe if you took a spoonful too.
I think the broth will do you just as much good. You're smart, aren't you? Well, come on now, sit up. Careful. There you are. Your father's away in Suffolk for a few days. He's going to stand for Parliament again, you know.
Is he?
Isn't that splendid? He was in the government once, wasn't he?
Yes. He resigned just after my mother died.
Your mother died?
Yes. He was pretty broken up about it, I suppose.
Naturally. When a man loses someone he loves. But it must be a great pride and comfort to him having a fine boy like you growing up almost a man. Why do you look at me like that?
He's not proud of me. He doesn't even like me.
Oh, come now, Master James.
If I were a man and my wife died, I'd love her son just because he was her son.
Well, of course you would.
I wouldn't hate him just because he kept reminding me of the fact that my wife was dead.
Master James, you mustn't talk like that. It isn't true at all, I'm sure. Would you like a handkerchief?
Please. I think there's a clean one in my bag.
This is a picture of your mother, isn't it? Yes. She's a very young and beautiful mother.
I don't remember her at all. She died when I was very little. She was a very good woman, you know.
Of course she was.
I don't want any more, thank you. My nurse told me all about her. The one who used to join me in the castor oil. I remember she used to sing me to sleep. It was an awfully nice song. It went something like this.
That's Christopher Robin.
That's right.
I used to sing that in vaudeville.
Did you? Were you an actress?
Oh, dear. I gave myself away then, didn't I? Master James, you mustn't tell your father. I've an idea he'd throw me out if he knew.
Oh, I won't. Imagine an actress. Were you good?
Oh, wonderful.
Will you sing it for me, please?
Little Daddy, I quite forgot. If I open my fingers a little bit more, I can see Nanny's dressing gown on the door. It's a beautiful blue, but it hasn't a hood. Oh, God bless Nanny and make her good. Mine has a hood and I lie in bed and I pull the hood right over my head and I shut my eyes and I curl up small. And nobody knows that I'm there at all. Oh, thank you, God, for a lovely day. Now, what was the other I had to say? I said, bless Daddy, so what could it be? Oh, now I remember it. God bless me. Little boy kneels at the foot of the bed, droops on the little hands, a little gold head. Whisper who dares, Christopher Robin is saying his
Mrs. Barry?
Yes?
Will there be any answer, Mum?
No. No answer.
Hello? Is that the Piccadilly Domestic Service Bureau? I want to staff of 5 immediately. Chef, parlour-maid, housemaid, gardener, and footman.
Oh, my dear, I know exactly the position you're in. It's dreadful about the help these days, isn't it? But I don't see how I could get them for you in less than 10 days.
So sorry, but we don't supply nothing higher than an housemaid.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Hello, Molly. Oh, but I don't think any of us have ever played a part of that sort before, Molly.
What does she want?
Well, of course. We'll do anything we can to help, dear. Very well. All right. I'll have a talk to Julie and Lily. See you later.
What is it?
We got the offer of a booking.
No.
Good parts, excellent wages, and an indefinite engagement. Julia! Lily! Did you have a nice trip, Mr. Graham?
Why, yes, I did, yes.
Welcome home, master.
What did you say?
I said, welcome home, master.
That's what I thought you said.
Thank you, master.
Peabody.
Yes, sir.
Send Mrs. Barry to me.
Yes.
La-di-da-di-da-di. Hello, Duck.
You here too? What are you supposed to be doing?
Dusty, have a nice trip, darling.
You may not call me darling or duck.
Not in public, eh? Don't worry. I'll keep our secret.
Ugh.
Like a nice cup of tea, Ducky.
Oh, I can't stand any more. No ether. Or chloroform if it's quicker.
Hello, Peabody.
What are you trying to do to me? Why?
Why not? They won't steal like the others did.
We have an important political dinner party tonight.
We'll manage. We're all rehearsing our parts right now, and we'll be letter perfect. You'll see, Ducky.
Oh, Mr. Graham wants to see you. Go on, buzz off. Just one happy family.
Peabody.
Shorty, come back here, Shorty.
Jimmy, what's going on here?
Why, hello, Father.
What are you doing here?
Well, Roger Fenton got ill, and I'm going to spend my summer here.
Well, glad to have you, of course. And you've grown
Yes, sir.
several inches. I wouldn't have known you if I'd met you on the street. Then I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
No, sir.
Don't you like it here at home?
Well, yes, sir.
Well, then why do you spend all your holidays elsewhere?
They invite me, my friends.
Are you compelled to accept their invitations? Do they hold a gun to your head and force you to visit them?
No, sir.
Well, then why don't you occasionally come home? Sit down, Jimmy. How are you doing at school?
All right, sir.
I find your studies difficult?
Well, Greek, and geometry, and Horace.
Ah, yes, Horace. Had the same difficulties myself when I was your age. But you know, my boy, you mustn't shirk it. Splendid training for the mind. Also, a great lyric poet, Horace. Let me see now. What was one of the things he wrote?
I never can remember, sir.
Matter of fact, I never could either. But don't neglect him. Splendid chap, Horace. And if you should ever want to go in for the law... Why then, Latin, of course, is invaluable to you. Any idea of the law as a profession?
Well, no, sir, I haven't.
Ah, well, perhaps you're too young yet to plan for the future. Now, you may not, at this point, think that you have any use for Greek, either. The study of Greek is an element in the shaping of your cultural life, and one that you cannot afford to overlook. And that goes for geometry, too. Oh, great character building. A lesson in discipline for the brain. What's wrong with that blasted dog?
Why, nothing, sir.
Well, then why is it scratching like that? Why do you get yourself a dog that has fleas? Where'd you pick up that mongrel, anyway?
He hasn't got fleas. He's not a mongrel. He's an artist. I wish he were mine.
Well, whose dog is it?
Musette's. He's played all the big music.
And who the devil is Musette?
The cook, sir. She's very fond of the little dog and wouldn't have come if I'd forbidden her to bring it.
May I be excused, Father?
You seem to have changed the entire staff in the little time I've been away.
Yes, sir. It was necessary.
Do you know anything about these people? Are they any good?
They're very capable. I've worked with them all before.
Well, they'd better be, especially tonight. This will be a very, very important dinner, Mrs. Barry. My guest of honor is the publisher of the London Transcript. And I understand that he's a great connoisseur of cooking. So tell your dog-loving cook that the food must be of the highest quality and prepared with great subtlety and distinction. Do you think she can manage?
Oh, certainly, sir.
My entire political future may depend upon this dinner. Therefore, I'll countenance no...
Do turn. I'll see that everything goes off very nicely tonight, sir. Will that be all, sir?
Yes.
It is hard to know how to handle kids, isn't it? Particularly without a woman in the house.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir.
Molly?
Yeah?
I don't think this duck will press anymore.
Mazette! Darling, you're not supposed to press it until it's served at dinner. Oh, my goodness, it's ruined.
She pressed too hard. No, hold straight.
Oh, I won't do, Molly.
No, it won't do. It'll be dinner time soon, and I can't give them this.
Oh, I'm sorry I ruined it, Molly, but I told you I didn't know anything about this pressed duck business.
This'll cost us our jobs.
Maybe not. Here, make me pie crust quickly. And boil me some potatoes and some onions, small ones. And get me that large carving knife, Ronnie.
What are you going to do?
What we do in the theatre when things go wrong. Improvise. I'm going to turn this duck into a game pie.
Game pie with duck in it? I never heard of anybody eating that.
That's what they're going to eat tonight, if anything. There it is, game pie. Now, everybody pray. What the dickens is that?
Oh, my potato souffle.
Ruined. Make another immediately.
Molly, there isn't time, but I could fry some potatoes.
Then you fry them in a subtle and distinctive way.
You mean with onions?
Anyway, carry on.
Mr. Graham wants to know what you're going to feed his guests tonight.
Oh, you tell him, get a piece of paper and write it down. Tell him it's pâté de canard.
Pâté de canard.
With sauce à la bourguignonne.
Sauce à la bourguignonne.
You spell it with a U.
Oh, do you? Oh, you. Oh.
Ah, pâté de canard, sauce à la bourguignonne.
The old boy should like that. What is it, anyway?
Duck, sir. And pomme de terre sautée marseillaise.
French stuff, eh?
Oh, Arthur, isn't this a lovely house? So hoty-mondy, so très-chic. Why can't we live in Park Lane, too, instead of... Pops?
What's that?
Oh, nothing, Arthur.
What did you say Pops for? Sounds as though you'd punctured something.
Oh, don't be silly.
How do you do, Lady Burroughs? Sir Arthur, I believe you know everybody here.
I was just telling Arthur how I do adore your house, Mr. Graham. How I wish we could move from dreary, stuffy Belgravia to... you.
I beg your pardon.
What the devil's wrong with you, Kitty? What do you mean you want to move to you? Where in blazes is you? Or should I say, are you?
Oh, I meant Kew. Kew Garden, such a lovely spot. I do adore flowers.
Never could fathom women. From now on, I'm going to stop trying.
Your wraps, please.
What bit you now, Kitty?
Nothing.
Thank you, milady.
Oh, what a lovely Gainsborough.
Yes, it's very nice, Kitty. Only it's a Reynolds, I believe.
Oh.
Oh, Sir Arthur, you know that Graham is going to stand for his former spot in the coming by-election.
I'm sorry, McDougal, but I make a point never to talk politics at dinner. Never to talk at all while feeding. Well, the fish was all right. What else you giving us?
The entree is pâté de canard, sauce à la bourguignonne, with pomme de terre sautée marseillaise.
Don't understand a word of it.
Sir Arthur, I pride myself on setting a fine table for my guests. I always insist, pâté de canard, sauce à la bourguignonne.
Yes, sir.
What did you say this was? Canard something or other? Why, it's old-fashioned English game pie.
We seem to have a new cook.
Yes, made with duck. My word. And these pommes de something or other rigmarole? Why, the potatoes, fried with onions.
Why, so they are.
Yes.
Not bad. It's not bad at all. Why, it's perfectly fine. Plain English cooking. I've always said it's the only kind worth eating. Graham, this is perfectly wonderful.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's all sing like the birdies sing.
Woohoo! Very pretty.
Let's all sing like the birdies sing. Sweet, 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 sweet. Let's all warble like nightingales. Give your throats a free. Take your time from the birds, but remember the words. Sweet, 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 sweet. Let's all sing like the birdies sing. Let's all sing like the birdies sing. Let's all warble like nightingales. Give your throats a free. Take your time from the birds, but remember the words. Sweet, 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 sweet.
Here, what sort of nonsense goes on here?
Why, it's Master James.
I hope I didn't frighten you.
Oh, you did not give us a turn, Master James.
I thought it was his nibs.
Well, I heard you singing and I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd join you. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no.
Well, thank you. Oh, how nice, game pie.
Would you like some?
Oh, yes, please.
Well, sit down there.
Thank you. Hello, Shorty. Oh, won't you sit down, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, thank you. Like a nice cup of tea.
Thank you very much. I suppose the party tonight was as stuffy as usual.
Oh, I don't know. It had its moments. But I always make it a rule never to discuss politics during dinner. In fact, never to talk at all while feeding. Ah, Old English game pie. With duck. Not bad. Not bad at all. In fact, it's very good. Why, Graham, this is marvelous. Yes, plain English cooking. Yes, the kind that made the British government what it is today. Give a man game pie and fried potatoes, and he can rule the world. Eh, Kitty?
Oh, Arthur dear, why can't we move out of stuffy bowl graveyard into you?
Yes, what do you think about that, Graham? With your convictions and principles, do you think Belgravia is too stuffy for us, or do you think it's the other way round?
Move into Horace, Sir Arthur. Great lyric poet, Horace. Much better than Belgravia and twice as stuffy. Splendid discipline for the mind, Horace. And you both could use plenty of that.
That will be enough of that, I think. I came down to congratulate you upon an excellent dinner that you gave us tonight. And I run into this disgraceful and vulgar exhibition. I find you not only mocking my guests, but inciting my own son to ridicule his father.
Please, Father, it wasn't their fault.
Go to bed, sir.
But I started it.
You probably did. I'm ashamed and repelled by your behavior. I hardly dared expect filial affection from you, but I did hope that I merited your respect.
But I do respect you, Father, and it's not their fault.
Go to bed at once. Who are you people? Where'd you come from? I find you all extremely odd. This young person greets my arrival from Suffolk as if I were a Caesar coming home from the wars. And my gardener seems to find terpsichore an adjunct to horticulture.
Beg your pardon, sir?
He means you dance while you garden.
Oh.
And among your group there is a performing dog. And you, Mrs. Barry, have a voice that I can only describe as professionally trained. Where did you people last work?
Our last engagement was at the Queen's Theatre, Dulwich, 2 years ago.
They liked us fine, too, but the manager absconded.
Peabody, how could you ever have hired people like this?
I may as well tell you, Mr. Graham, I am one of them.
A pack of buffoons, all of you.
A troupe of actors, sir, down on their luck, who were forced to take other jobs.
Not in my house. I shall give you a month's pay.
Oh, no, please. We've never been sacked yet. We're the ones who give notice, and that's what we're doing now. We leave here first thing in the morning.
Splendid. Then it will not be necessary for you to say goodbye to my son. You've already corrupted him sufficiently.
Corrupted him? Why, we've given him the best time he's ever had here, poor kid. If we're at all sorry to go, it's because we have to leave him behind in this cold and unfriendly house.
I have suffered enough from your impertinence tonight, Mrs. Barry. My affairs are no concern of yours.
Except as regards that boy. And I'd be a poor thing indeed if I didn't speak up for him. A kid starving for kindness and affection. And what do you give him? Coldness, impatience, and bad temper.
How dare you talk like this to me?
Because we're not servant and master anymore. And because it needs to be said. You're making an enemy out of your son, Mr. Graham. And someday you're going to regret it. Well, glad I got that off my chest. We'll leave the packing till morning. It's been quite a day.
Doing Romeo and Juliet at the Old Vic. I wonder if they'd have anything for me.
Well, I can't go back on the stage because all my clothes were designed for domestic service. Well, I can't continue in domestic service because all my references point to the fact that I was on the stage. I can't even throw myself in the Thames because I happen to be an extraordinarily good swimmer.
It was like cutting butter with a hot knife cooking on this range. Had a most wonderful flu.
Never mind, old gal. You do just as well over a spirit lamp in a furnished room. That's how we've done it for the last 30 years. We never minded a bit.
This has been the shortest engagement we've ever played, hasn't it? Never mind. We'll manage.
Who is it?
It's I, sir. Jimmy.
Come in.
I'm very sorry about last night, Father. It was awfully rude of me. And I want to apologize.
It's quite all right.
I wish you wouldn't blame the staff. I started it by pretending to be you, so they'd be startled if I make myself clear. And that sort of got them into the spirit of it.
Naturally enough, I suppose, since they're actors.
Did they tell you? Isn't it wonderful?
I hadn't looked at it in quite that light.
It's like being in the theater all the time, having them around.
Mrs. Barry put on a bit of a show for me after you left.
She did? She's very good, isn't she, Father?
I found her quite convincing.
Then you're not angry, Father?
No.
Thank you. Will you be ready for breakfast soon?
There probably won't be any. They gave notice last night.
Oh. Why?
Partly because of the way I treat you. It isn't true, Jimmy, that I dislike you, you know.
No, sir.
On the contrary, you're my only child. I should be a very unnatural father if I didn't feel a very definite regard for you.
Yes, sir.
You believe that, don't you?
Yes.
And I should be extremely unhappy if I thought that you disliked me.
But I don't, Father. I understand.
What?
I understand the way you feel, sir, about me.
In what way is that?
I realize that I keep reminding you of Mother. I know that you loved her very much and that she was a very saintly woman. I understand how my presence here keeps bringing back the memory of your loss.
There isn't a word of truth in it.
What, Father?
Whatever difficulty has been between us has been due entirely to my coldness, my impatience, my temper. As you know, I have a very bad temper.
Oh, I wouldn't say that,
But I
sir.
shall try to control it hereafter.
Well, I don't think you're really
And if you
bad,
ever
sir.
find me irritable
Well,
again,
Father, I think it's just
if
as
ever
much...
I shout at you or am abusive, if my infernally bad disposition manifests itself
Well,
again...
I think it's just as much my fault as...
Confound it, boy! Let me finish. I did it again.
You're laughing, Father.
Yes, I'm laughing. Come and help me dress, and we'll go down and have breakfast together.
Good morning.
Relaxed his discipline, hasn't he? Always used to insist on the maids wearing proper uniforms. Don't tell me he's grown soft in his old age.
Is there something I can do for you?
You? Not very likely. Oh, I hate this place. It always was the most expensively furnished mausoleum in all London.
Who are you, please?
The prodigal. Come back for her bit of the fatted calf. Tell your employer he has a visitor. An old friend. I think he's still asleep. Wake him up. Don't stand Stand there, gaping woman. Do as you're told.
It's Mrs. Graham, isn't it? It was. I wouldn't dare waken him. His orders are not to be disturbed until he rings.
Yes, I remember that, too. Very well, I'll wait. For a little while.
Have they gone yet, Father?
Who? Oh, the staff. No. Seems to me that they've come for their wages before leaving.
Do you mind if I ask them not to go?
You're very fond of them, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, naturally. They're far more amusing than I could ever hope to be.
Well, I like them, but I like you much better. After all, you are my father.
Very true. Well, carry on. Tell them I'm anxious to have them stay. Offer them higher wages, more time off, anything they want.
Oh, here you are, Father. Thanks awfully. See you at breakfast. Mrs. Barry. Oh, Mrs. Barry. Mrs. Barry, I have a message for you from my father. He'd like it awfully well if you and the others would stay on and... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were engaged. Good morning.
Hello there. Perhaps you can tell me about it later.
All right, I'll wait below and I'll tell the others. It concerns all of you.
My word, he's big, isn't he? Dates me, doesn't he? Oh, I don't know. Not so bad, really, considering that I died 15 years ago in an aroma of great saintliness. Stupid of them to tell the kid that, wasn't it?
If you insist on seeing him, it's going to cause a great deal of unpleasantness.
What do you think I'm here for?
That won't do you any good, will it?
£1,000 worth of good. That's a lot of good to me at the moment.
You've no hold on him.
My disappearance 15 years ago put him in a great flutter. My reappearance at this moment won't make him any happier. Consider the shock to the kid when he finds out that his mother is little less than angelic.
You know Mr. Graham better than I do. You should know that he'll never pay hush money.
There are 1 or 2 newspapers in this country that pay very well for feature stories. He can take his choice. I need this money, and I intend to get it one way or another.
Will you let me give him your message?
You're afraid the kid will come back and find out about me, is that it? Well, you can tell him. I'm not particularly anxious to see either of them. I seem to be lacking in wifely and maternal feeling. You think I'm very hard, don't you?
Yes, Mrs. Graham.
Well, impress that on him and tell him that I'll stand for no nonsense. I'm staying at the Blakely Hotel on Euston Road. I expect that money by tomorrow night, not later.
Good morning, Mrs. Barry.
Good morning, Mr. Graham.
Mrs. Barry.
Yes, sir.
Did you see young Jimmy?
Just for a moment, sir.
Did he give you my message?
I was engaged at the time, sir, but I gathered from his attitude that...
That I have decided to forgive you.
Thank you, sir.
We've made it up, you know, Jimmy and I. Fast friends now.
I'm so glad to hear that, sir.
Thank you. And there's another thing that'll probably please you, Mrs. Barry. I just talked to Mr. McDowall on the telephone. He says there'll be no trouble over getting my seat in Parliament. And there'll be nothing to stop me from the Cabinet this time.
That's very fine, sir, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barry. Come in, won't you? And close the door, please. Made a great many mistakes in my time, Mrs. Barry. Don't mind admitting it. Married late, for one thing. Married the wrong woman. But you seem to know all about that. Then when she ran away, well, frankly, I took it very badly.
One would, sir.
She left the boy to me, but I didn't know how to bring him up. I didn't even know how to make friends with him until a few moments ago. And that was your doing.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's all behind me now. Going to do much better in the future. With, I hope, your continued help, Mrs. Barry.
Of course, sir.
And that's that. I hope I haven't bored you with my reminiscences.
Quite the contrary, sir. But I'm afraid something has happened here.
You take care of it. I'm convinced you're a very capable woman. Don't worry me with whatever it's about. Just go ahead and fix it.
I'll do the very best I can, sir.
I'm sure you will. Well, I'm going to have breakfast with Jimmy, and I mustn't keep him waiting, you know.
Are you sure you've been ringing the right number? It's a big house with a large staff of servants. They can't all be away. Oh, very well, then ring them again and again, and then let me know.
She's been trying to get the house again, but it don't answer. She's unhappy about it.
What time's the play at the Drury Lane empty? Anybody know?
It's a long one. They usually get out about 11:15. We should be finished here before the Grahams get home.
Not if we don't get started quickly. Kit, would you like to have a little run through with Peabody?
Oh, it won't work, Molly. The whole idea is preposterous. Why don't you just tell Mr. Graham that his ex-wife wants £1,000?
He'd never pay it.
Well, that's his business.
And he'd give up the idea of going back into the government. Remember the last time that woman upset him?
If he probably close his London house, then we'd all lose our good jobs.
And Jimmy would find out the truth about his mother. No, Mr. Graham told me to take care of it, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, why do we have to do it in this way?
Because we're actors, and that's what we do best, act. Can't you hurry it a bit?
Nearly ready, old girl. Must you curl it quite so much?
You need to be very beautiful, Ducky.
Ouch! Do you think this part of it's safe, Molly? After all, it's a forged check.
It's perfectly safe, love, as long as it doesn't get cashed. Kit, if you forget about this, we'll all go to clink.
Oh, don't worry, I won't forget.
Are we all ready, everybody? Oh, my dear, I almost forgot this.
Oh, Molly, this is the part I don't like at all. I never could kill. I never even fired one of these things.
Come on, everybody, quick. Are we all ready? Curtain.
Well, all alone in there, were you? Can't stay in here.
Lulu, what are you doing? Oh, pardon, madame. I must apologize for the intrusion of my little dog. I went from my room for one moment, but this is très extraordinaire.
What is?
That she should come to visit you. You see, Lulu does not make friends very quick. But we intrude, madame.
Not at all. I'm just waiting for a telephone call. Well, I'd like to offer you a drink.
I have some cognac in my room, if madame would be so good as to share it with me.
Thanks. I think it's bad manners to refuse a drink.
Good, c'est bon. Lulu, silence.
Thanks. Well, here's to you.
Perhaps to us?
Why not?
À vous santé.
I haven't been to France for ages.
No, I could have sworn that this very moment you come direct from the Rue de la Paix.
Not bad for colonial, am I?
Colonial? Oh, no, not you, madame.
South Africa, Johannesburg.
Mais pourquoi? Why does madame live at the other end of the world?
Oh, I have friends there. Or should I say a friend?
Ah, yes, Ella. I am a man whose fate it is always to be a little too late.
Fast worker, aren't you? And you Frenchmen always must keep up your reputation for gallantry. Pour us another drink.
Oh, oui, madame. I see that you are a woman of the world. So, now we understand one another, huh?
I rather think we do speak the same language.
Ah, oui.
Why are you so far away?
Oh, it is only because I am so shy, madame.
You're on. Lulu? Is that you, Lulu? What are you... Albert, what are you doing in here?
Daphne, I did not expect you tonight.
No, I can see that. Who is this woman? Where did you meet her? You're doing it to me again, Albert.
No, my darling. It is quite by accident that I meet her.
It's always by accident, isn't it? That countess in Brussels. You accidentally bought her a drink in a bar.
Daphne, please do not let us discuss our private affairs in front of this lady.
Lady, bah! Is that what she is? And she lets a strange man into her room?
Look here, that's quite enough out of...
Albert, I'll do something desperate.
No.
I won't let this woman take you away from me. I'll make her pay for what she's done.
Oh, stop!
Stow it?
Hey, is it? Bit of the old confidence trick. The outraged wife, or whatever you are, finds her man with another woman and wants money to heal her broken heart. Very sorry, but I'm afraid it won't work this time. What now? What do you want?
Mrs. Graham?
Yes?
I represent the firm of Wilkins, Herbert and O'Shaughnessy, solicitors. I have a cheque for you from Mr. Graham.
Oh, come in.
The cheque is for £1,000. I've been instructed to deliver it to you personally. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were not alone.
Pay no attention to them. Give it here.
Mr. Graham wishes it to be understood that this is the last time that you come to him for assistance.
Yes, yes.
Oh, £1,000.
Nothing in there for you. You'll get none of this.
Money, money. I wouldn't touch a penny of your filthy. This is what I'll do with your money.
Are you crazy?
I see it all now. You and he were going to take this money and go away together. Well, I won't let you do this to me.
Well, Daphne, put that thing down.
I'm tired of having my heart broken. I'm going to kill you both.
Careful, madam. She's insanely jealous.
I'm not jealous.
What's the matter? What's happened?
He had...
Dead.
I didn't do it.
You're not going to get me mixed up in this. I had nothing to do with it. The gun went off accidentally.
Would you like to have your bed turned down, madam? You slew him! You murderer! No! I didn't do it! You and your woman have got to answer for this!
Answer for it? We will have to explain that we found you with a gun in your hand and a man lying dead here in your room.
But it isn't my gun! It's yours or hers! Do something! Do something!
What's going on in here? You've done him in. I'm going to call the police, I am.
Monsieur.
Yes?
Now then, I am implicated in this. Daphne has left me. If I help you to escape, will you come with me?
Yes, anywhere.
We will go to the north of England.
No, not England, not Britain. I will never come back here again.
Paris. Tomorrow night you will meet me at the Gare du Nord.
Yes, I promise.
Give me the gun. Go on, take your bag and your gloves. Quick, and that bag. Where is your handbag? Quick, that's it. Quick. I get the case for you. Now, get out, get out.
Jolly good job, all of you. It was wonderful. Better than the rehearsal. Congratulations.
Thank you, Molly.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Molly.
Really grand. Come on, it's all over. Come on, get up. What's the matter? Is he hurt? Oh, he's out like a lion.
Speak to me, Roddy.
Give us some water, quick.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I must have hit him rather hard.
Say you did.
I'll say you did.
Molly! Molly! We better get out of here right away. The management gave me an awful dirty look.
She told the taxi driver Tilbury Docks. That isn't the way to Paris, is it?
She's gone to South Africa.
Her friend in Johannesburg.
Oh, I think we've seen the last of her. Listen, we've just an hour before the Grahams get back. Let's get going.
Yeah,
Come on. Hurry up, everyone, and change into your proper clothes. The Grahams will be back any minute.
I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him.
I'll never get these ruddy curls out of my hair.
They won't notice.
Oh, my poor Joe.
I am the...
Jolly good play, wasn't it, Father?
Excellent. We must do this more often, Jimmy, eh?
Yes, Father.
What time I have off for electioneering, we should use for doing other things.
Yes.
We'll go riding.
Riding?
Well, I haven't been on a horse for 10 years, but we'll go riding.
Yes, sir.
Peabody.
I'm sorry for the delay, sir. I didn't hear the bell immediately.
Quite all right, Peabody, quite all right. I see you've all been waiting up. Very nice. We've seen a very exciting play, Mrs. Barry, very.
Did you, sir?
Oh, a thrilling evening. Must have been rather dull for all of you waiting here for us to return.
We didn't mind, sir.
I'll tell you the part in the morning, Mrs. Barry. There was a murder, quite a lot of excitement, very narrow escapes and policemen.
Policeman. I'll be waiting to hear all about it, Master James.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Jimmy.
Will there be anything more, sir?
I don't think so. There seems to be something different about you, Peabody. You look very pretty tonight.
You're very kind, sir.
Well, if that's all, sir, I'll...
You've given me a very bad habit, Mrs. Barry.
I have, sir?
That of sandwiches and cocoa before retiring. Now I find it impossible to break it.
It won't take a moment, sir. Would you like it in the study?
No. I remember the kitchen's a very cozy place. Would you mind, well, would it inconvenience you if I ate in the kitchen?
Not at all, sir. Not at all. I'll have it ready in a jiffy.
when you are
hungry.
Always drink when you are
Dry. Always sleep when you are
sleepy.
But don't stop breathing